Mina was a skilled mechanic who lived in a small town at the edge of the mountains. She loved machines, engines, and anything that could move or fly. She spent most of her days in her workshop, fixing cars, bikes, and even small airplanes. People in town often said she had a special talent. She could understand how machines worked as if they were alive. Mina enjoyed her work, but she also loved to explore the mountains whenever she had free time. The mountains gave her a sense of freedom, and she always found small adventures along the trails. One bright morning, Mina decided to take a hike before starting her day in the workshop. The air was fresh, the sun was rising, and the birds were singing. She carried a small backpack with water, a few snacks, and her repair tools just in case. As she walked along a narrow trail, she noticed the trees growing closer together, forming a natural tunnel. She moved carefully, enjoying the quiet and the smell of the forest. After a while, Mina saw something unusual in the distance. Among the green trees and rocky slopes, she noticed a shiny object reflecting sunlight. At first, she thought it was a piece of metal or maybe an old vehicle. But as she got closer, she realized it was far bigger than anything she had expected. Her heart started beating faster. Mina climbed a small ridge to get a better view. There, half hidden among trees and rocks, was a private jet. Its body was sleek and metallic, and the paint looked almost new. The wings were intact and the engines were massive. Mina could not believe her eyes. How could a private jet be in the middle of the mountains with no runway nearby? She had never seen anything like this in her life. Curiosity mixed with caution as Mina approached the jet. The door was slightly open and she could hear faint noises from inside. Her first thought was to call for help, but something told her to investigate first. She had always been brave when it came to solving problems, and her curiosity about machines was stronger than her fear. Taking a deep breath, she carefully stepped closer to the jet and pushed the door open. Inside, the cabin was dusty, but it looked surprisingly organized. There were rows of comfortable leather seats, a control panel full of blinking lights, and equipment that Mina did not recognize. She walked slowly, her eyes scanning every corner. It felt strange to be inside such a luxurious jet, yet in the middle of the forest. Everything seemed out of place, and that made her even more curious. At the back of the jet, Mina noticed a large, heavy case locked with a keypad. She tried to guess the combination, but nothing worked. The case seemed important, and Mina had a feeling it held secrets. As she examined the case, she heard a soft movement behind her. She turned quickly, her heart racing. From the shadows, a small figure appeared. It was a young girl, no older than 10, with wide, frightened eyes. The girl looked around nervously and whispered, "Please don't tell anyone. They will take me away." Mina immediately knelt down to appear less threatening. She smiled gently. "I won't hurt you. My name is Mina. What's your name?" The girl hesitated, her eyes still full of fear, and finally said, "Nora." Mina realized that this was no ordinary situation. Someone had hidden the jet here for a reason, and this little girl was part of it. She needed to stay calm and think carefully. First, she had to make sure Nora was safe. She offered her some water and a snack from her backpack. Nora accepted slowly, still watching Mina closely. As Nora drank and ate, Mina tried to ask simple questions, but the girl only shook her head. It was clear that she was scared of something or someone. Mina promised to help her, and for the first time she saw a small spark of trust in the girl's eyes. Mina knew she had stumbled into a mystery much bigger than a broken machine. She felt both excitement and worry. Mina carefully looked around the jet again. There were signs that it had been used recently. Small footprints in the dust, scattered papers, and blinking lights on the control panel suggested that someone had been here not long ago. Mina knew that she had to be careful. Whoever had left this jet and hidden the girl might return at any moment. Despite the fear, Mina's curiosity and sense of responsibility grew stronger. She knew she could not leave Nora alone in the mountains. At the same time, she needed to understand why this jet was here and what secrets it held. Mina took a deep breath, ready to start investigating, knowing that her life and the girl's life might change forever. Mina stayed beside Nora, trying to make her feel safe. The girl clutched a small worn backpack and looked around nervously. Mina noticed the way her hands trembled. She realized that Nora had been through something very difficult. Mina wanted to gain the girl's trust, so she spoke softly. "You don't have to be afraid. I will help you." Nora looked at her with wide eyes but did not answer. Mina decided to take a closer look at the jet to understand more about it. She walked carefully through the cabin, examining the control panel and the seats. The instruments were unfamiliar, but Mina could tell they were sophisticated and expensive. This was not an ordinary jet. It must have belonged to someone very important. She noticed small papers scattered on the floor. Mina picked them up one by one. They were flight plans, maps of mountain ranges and strange symbols she did not recognize. She carefully arranged the papers on a seat and studied them. The maps showed routes through the mountains and remote locations marked with numbers. Mina had repaired many machines, but she had never seen anything like this. The jet had been used for secret operations, and now she was standing in the middle of one. While she was examining the papers, Mina heard a soft sound from the back of the cabin. She turned quickly and saw a heavy metal case with a keypad. The case seemed important, and Mina felt a strong curiosity about what was inside. She pressed some numbers, hoping to unlock it, but nothing worked. The case was clearly protected for a reason. Mina realized that whatever was inside could explain why the jet and the girl had been hidden in the mountains. Nora had been watching Mina quietly. Finally, she spoke in a small voice. "They don't want anyone to find me," she whispered. Mina nodded, understanding that the girl was telling her a secret. "I will make sure you are safe," she said firmly. "But first I need to know more about this jet and what it holds." Mina walked to the cockpit to investigate further. The control panel had blinking lights, buttons, and switches. She noticed a small blinking device near the floor. When she picked it up, she realized it was a tracker. Her heart raced. If someone is following this jet, they will know where it is, she thought. She quickly disabled the tracker by carefully cutting a few wires. Mina had always been careful with machines, and her hands moved quickly and precisely. Once the tracker was disabled, Mina returned to Nora. "We need to leave soon," she said. "But it must be done safely. If anyone finds us, it could be dangerous." Nora nodded, still quiet but starting to trust Mina more. Mina noticed that the girl's fear was mixed with hope. She realized that the girl had been alone for a long time and needed someone to protect her. Mina decided to prepare for their journey down the mountains. She checked her backpack and found some rope, a flashlight, and a first aid kit. She handed Nora a small bottle of water and a snack. "We will take it slow," Mina said. "The mountains are tricky and we must be careful." Nora held Mina's hand, and together they stepped out of the jet. The sunlight was bright and the forest seemed peaceful, but Mina could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. She scanned the area carefully. The mountains were quiet and no one was in sight, but the heavy presence of danger seemed near. Mina knew they had to move quickly before anyone discovered them. As they walked along a narrow path, Mina explained simple rules to Nora. "Stay close to me. Do not make noise. If we need to hide, we will hide together." Nora followed her instructions carefully. She seemed small and fragile, but Mina admired her courage. The girl had survived alone, and now Mina had to help her reach safety. After an hour of careful walking, they found a small clearing where they could rest. Mina encouraged Nora to drink water and eat a little more. While the girl rested, Mina studied the surrounding mountains. She noticed unusual marks on the rocks and ground, signs that someone else might have passed through recently. Mina's heart tightened. Whoever had hidden the jet and the girl could be nearby, and they needed to stay alert. Despite the tension, Mina felt a growing determination. She had faced difficult repairs, storms, and accidents before, but this was different. This was about protecting someone who could not protect herself. Mina knew that finding the answers about the jet and keeping Nora safe would be the challenge of her life. She took a deep breath and held Nora's hand, ready to face whatever came next. Mina and Nora stayed in the small clearing for a few minutes, resting their tired legs. Nora's hands were still trembling slightly, but she seemed calmer now. Mina could see the fear in the girl's eyes, yet there was also a quiet determination. Mina admired her courage. She knew that getting out of the mountains safely would require patience, careful thinking, and trust between them. "Can you tell me a little more?" Mina asked softly. "I need to understand why you were on that jet." Nora looked down at her lap, hugging her small backpack tightly. Her voice was barely audible. I'm not supposed to talk," she whispered. Mina nodded, showing that she understood. She did not push her. She knew that forcing the girl to speak would only make her more scared. Instead, she decided to focus on getting them both to safety first. Mina studied the surrounding area carefully. The mountains were steep, and the trail they had been following was narrow. There were rocks that could slip underfoot and tree roots that could trip them. Mina thought about the best way to descend safely. She spotted a small stream flowing down the slope, and she knew that following it could lead them to a lower path. The sound of running water was comforting, and it might help mask their footsteps if anyone was following them. As they began walking toward the stream, Mina noticed something unusual. A set of fresh footprints led away from the jet and disappeared among the trees. She stopped and examined them closely. The prints were large, like they belonged to an adult, and the spacing showed they were moving quickly. Mina's heart skipped a beat. Someone else had been here recently, and they might still be nearby. She glanced at Nora and whispered, "We need to stay very quiet and careful." Nora nodded and held Mina's hand tightly. Mina felt a surge of protectiveness. She had never felt such responsibility for anyone before, but she knew she could not let fear control her. She focused on the path ahead, thinking about each step carefully. The mountains were beautiful, with sunlight filtering through the trees, but the beauty was mixed with danger. Mina had learned to respect the mountains during her hikes, and now she needed that knowledge more than ever. As they moved forward, Mina noticed small details that told her more about the jet and the people who had hidden it. Broken branches, marks on the rocks, and small pieces of metal suggested that the jet had been forced to land quickly. It had not come here for leisure. Mina realized that the people who left it must have been in a hurry, and that made her even more curious and cautious. After walking for some time, Mina found a small flat area near the stream where they could rest safely for a while. She let Nora sit and offered her some more water. "You are very brave," Mina said softly. "I know it is not easy to be here all alone, but we will be safe together." Nora's lips curved into a small smile, the first one Mina had seen since finding her. While Nora rested, Mina carefully searched the area around the stream. She looked for anything that might help them, like natural shelters or signs of nearby villages. She also scanned the trees for any indication that someone might be following them. Everything seemed quiet, but Mina knew better than to trust appearances. The mountains could hide many secrets, and she needed to stay alert. Nora began to open up slowly. She spoke in small, careful sentences. I saw things people don't want anyone to know," she whispered. Mina listened quietly. She did not ask for details yet. She knew it was enough for Nora to trust her enough to speak. Trust would grow, and soon the girl might tell everything. Mina felt a mix of worry and determination. She was no stranger to difficult challenges, but this was different. Protecting Nora meant more than skill. It meant courage, patience, and careful thinking. Mina checked the sun and realized they had only a few hours of daylight left. They needed to keep moving, but they also needed to stay hidden. Taking a deep breath, Mina held Nora's hand and stood up. "We will move slowly, step by step," she said. "I will keep you safe, and together we will find a way out of these mountains." Nora nodded again, trusting her completely. Mina felt a sense of responsibility heavier than any engine she had ever fixed. She knew this was just the beginning of a long journey, and that every choice she made could change both their lives. With careful steps, Mina led Nora along the stream, keeping a watchful eye on every tree, rock, and shadow. The mountains seemed peaceful, but Mina's instincts told her that danger was close. Still, she did not panic. She knew that with patience, courage, and trust they could overcome any obstacle, and in that moment, Mina promised herself that she would protect Nora no matter what it took. Mina and Nora continued walking carefully along the stream. The sound of running water was soothing, but Mina stayed alert. Every shadow, every movement in the trees made her pause and scan the area. She knew they could not afford to make mistakes. The mountains were beautiful, but they could also hide danger. Nora walked close to Mina, holding her hand tightly. She was quiet most of the time, but her small voice broke the silence occasionally. "Do you think they will come for me?" she asked. Mina squeezed her hand gently. "I don't know, but we will be careful. I promise I will protect you." Nora nodded, and for a moment her fear seemed to ease. Mina looked at the surroundings carefully. She noticed a faint trail that led up a small slope away from the stream. The trail looked less traveled, but it would be safer than following the open path. She decided to take it, moving slowly so that neither of them slipped. As they walked, Mina kept an eye out for anything unusual. Broken branches, footprints, or signs of anyone else in the area. After a short climb, they reached a small ledge that offered a clear view of the valley below. Mina paused to let Nora rest. The girl sat on a flat rock, her legs dangling over the edge. Mina handed her some water and a snack. "We are going to take it slow," she said. Step by step we will get out safely. Nora nodded and ate quietly. Mina watched her closely, noticing the small signs of relief on her face. While Nora rested, Mina took the opportunity to think. The jet and the girl were part of something much bigger. The documents she had seen in the jet suggested secret missions and hidden plans. Someone powerful had gone to great lengths to hide the jet in these mountains. Mina realized that uncovering the truth could be dangerous, but she also felt determined. She had the skills, the knowledge, and now the courage to protect Nora and find answers. Nora began to speak more. They want to keep me from telling anyone, she whispered. I know things I should not know. I saw plans, things that were not right. Mina listened carefully, letting the girl speak. She did not interrupt, understanding that trust was fragile. Nora's words confirmed that the situation was serious. The girl had witnessed something important, and the people who hid her would do anything to keep it a secret. Mina realized they needed a plan. They could not keep wandering blindly. She looked around the ledge and noticed a series of rocks that could be used as natural markers. We will leave signs, she said. Not to guide anyone here, but to help us remember the safest path down. Nora helped her carefully place small markers along the trail. It was a simple task, but it gave the girl a sense of control, and it also helped her feel safer. As they continued moving, Mina spotted something unusual among the trees, a faint glimmer of metal. She crouched down and moved closer. It was a small device similar to the tracker she had disabled on the jet. Mina carefully examined it. Someone had been here recently, checking the area. Whoever was following the jet or the girl was nearby, and they could return at any moment. Mina quickly removed the device and hid it in her backpack. She knew this was proof that they were being watched. The journey down the mountain was slow. Mina helped Nora over tricky rocks and around steep slopes. She gave her small instructions, reminding her to stay quiet and close. We are almost safe, she said, trying to keep the girl's spirits up. Nora's small face lit up with a hopeful smile. For the first time since they met, she seemed to believe that someone cared about her safety. By late afternoon, they reached a small natural shelter formed by overhanging rocks. Mina decided they would rest there for a while. She collected some dry leaves and small branches to make a comfortable spot for Nora. She also checked her backpack for supplies, water, snacks, and a small first aid kit. They had made progress, but Mina knew the journey was far from over. As they settled down, Nora leaned against Mina and whispered, I want to tell you everything, but I'm scared. Mina stroked her hair gently and said, We will take it one step at a time. I will protect you and you can tell me when you are ready. The girl nodded, feeling a small spark of trust growing inside her. Mina looked out over the mountains, thinking about what lay ahead. She knew the jet, the documents, and the people who had hidden Nora were all connected. Solving the mystery would not be easy, but she was determined to protect the girl and uncover the truth. Mina felt a strong sense of responsibility, stronger than anything she had ever felt before. She held Nora's hand and promised herself that she would not fail. With the sun beginning to lower in the sky, Mina prepared for the next part of their journey. They had survived the first challenge, but the mountains still held secrets and dangers. Mina knew that every careful step, every decision could change their lives forever. She was ready to face whatever came next. Mina and Nora woke early the next morning. The air was cold and the sun was just beginning to rise over the mountains. Mina knew that time was important. They could not stay in one place for too long. Whoever had hidden the jet or followed the girl might still be nearby. She helped Nora gather her small bag and checked her own supplies. They had enough water, snacks, and some tools, but they had to move carefully. As they started walking down the slope, Mina thought about the jet and the documents she had seen. The papers showed flight plans, maps, and strange codes. Someone powerful had used the jet for secret missions. Mina could not understand all of it, but she knew it was important. Whoever had abandoned the jet in the mountains wanted to hide it quickly, and now she and Nora were caught in the middle of the mystery. Mina guided Nora along a narrow path, stepping carefully on loose rocks and roots. The girl followed closely, holding Mina's hand tightly. Mina could feel the small tremble in Nora's grip. She whispered softly, We are going to be safe. Keep your eyes on me and follow every step. Nora nodded, trusting Mina completely. While walking, Mina noticed something unusual among the trees. A small metal object glimmered in the morning sunlight. She crouched down and picked it up. It was a small tracking device, similar to the one she had found in the jet. Someone had been following the jet or checking the area recently. Mina's heart tightened. They were not alone, and danger could appear at any moment. She hid the device in her backpack, making a mental note to destroy it later. After a few more hours, they reached a hidden ridge overlooking a valley below. Mina scanned the area carefully. There was no sign of people, but she could see distant smoke rising from a small settlement. "We need to reach that village," she whispered to Nora. "It is the safest place nearby, and we can get help there." Nora nodded, feeling hope for the first time in weeks. As they descended toward the valley, Mina used her experience to choose the safest route. She stepped on stable rocks, tested branches for strength, and guided Nora carefully around steep areas. The journey was tiring, but Mina's determination never wavered. She knew the girl's safety depended on her. Along the way, Nora began to speak more about her situation. They wanted to hide me," she said softly. "I saw things that were not right. I think they were doing it to stop me from telling anyone." Mina listened quietly. She did not interrupt. She knew it was enough for Nora to share what she felt ready to say. Mina realized that the girl had witnessed something very important, and now her life depended on escaping the mountains safely. Mina also thought about the jet. The heavy case with the keypad, the documents, and the tracker all suggested secrets that were valuable. She wondered what was inside the case. Whoever had left it behind clearly wanted it protected. Mina felt a strong sense of responsibility. She knew that discovering the truth would be difficult, but protecting Nora came first. As they continued, Mina and Nora came across a small stream. Mina suggested they follow it, knowing that water often led to safer paths and villages. The girl nodded and followed her carefully. The stream's sound was comforting, masking their movements. Mina kept scanning the area, making sure no one followed them. After some time, they reached a natural clearing. Mina took a moment to rest and gave Nora more water. She also checked her backpack and supplies. "We are getting closer to safety," she said softly. "We need to keep moving carefully, but we will be fine." Nora's face showed a small smile, her first sign of relief. Mina knew that danger was still present. Someone powerful had hidden the jet and the girl for a reason. They could be tracking them, and any mistake could be costly. But Mina also knew that courage, careful thinking, and trust would help them survive. She held Nora's hand and looked out over the valley. Mina took a deep breath and made a plan. They would continue following the stream to reach the village, avoid open areas, and stay alert. The jet's secrets would wait until they were safe, but she promised herself she would uncover them. Protecting Nora and reaching safety was the most important mission now, and Mina was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Mina and Nora moved carefully along the stream, the water sparkling in the sunlight. The path was narrow and the rocks were slippery from the morning dew. Mina held Nora's hand firmly, guiding her step by step. "Careful," she said softly. "One step at a time." Nora nodded and focused on her movements, trusting Mina completely. The mountains were quiet, almost too quiet. Birds chirped in the distance and the wind rustled through the trees, but there was no sign of anyone else. Mina's instincts told her to stay alert. Whoever had hidden the jet could still be nearby, watching or following them. She scanned the surroundings constantly, looking for unusual shapes or movements. After a while, they reached a steeper section of the trail. Mina examined it carefully and realized that it would be dangerous to go straight down. She spotted a narrow ledge that curved around the slope. It was safer, though it required careful balance. "We will use this path," she said. "It is longer but safer." Nora nodded and moved slowly, gripping Mina's hand tightly. As they carefully made their way along the ledge, Mina spotted something in the distance. Smoke rose from the valley below. She crouched behind a large rock and motioned for Nora to do the same. "Look," she whispered. "There is a settlement down there. That is where we can get help. But we need to be careful. Someone could be watching." Nora's eyes widened. "Do you think they will find us?" she asked. Mina shook her head. "Not if we are careful. We have to move quietly and stay out of sight." She checked her backpack and made sure they had enough water and snacks. They had been walking for hours and both were tired, but there was no time to rest for long. Mina led Nora along a hidden path that sloped gently downward. The sound of the stream was comforting and also helped hide their footsteps. Mina was careful to step only on stable rocks and flat areas. The girl followed her closely, trusting Mina completely. For the first time, Nora seemed to feel safe walking with someone. As they continued, Mina spotted a small glimmer among the bushes. She crouched and moved closer. It was another small tracking device, partially hidden in the grass. Mina's heart raced. Whoever was following the jet or the girl was very close. She picked up the device and disabled it carefully. "We cannot let them know where we are," she whispered to Nora. The girl nodded, her small hands gripping Mina's tightly. The descent grew more challenging as the sun climbed higher. Rocks were loose and the trail became steeper. Mina slowed their pace, making sure Nora could navigate safely. "Step carefully," she instructed. "Use your hands if you need to balance." Nora listened carefully and followed each instruction. Her trust in Mina grew stronger with every step. After a few hours, they reached a flat area near the edge of the valley. Mina looked down and saw the settlement more clearly. Small houses clustered together, smoke rising from chimneys. Mina smiled quietly. "We are close," she said. "Just a little further and we will be safe." Nora's eyes lit up. Hope had returned to her face. But Mina knew they could not be careless. The path ahead was open, and they could be spotted from a distance. She scanned the area and spotted a group of rocks that could provide temporary cover. "We will move from rock to rock," she instructed. "Stay close and do exactly as I say." Nora nodded, her small face serious. She had learned to trust Mina completely. They moved slowly, using the rocks as cover. The sunlight was bright, but Mina kept their movements low and careful. Every step had to be precise. They were close to safety, but the danger was still near. Mina knew that reaching the village would not only protect Nora, but also give them a chance to understand more about the jet and why she had been hidden. As they reached the edge of the settlement, Mina paused and held Nora behind a large bush. She looked around carefully, making sure no one was watching. The village seemed peaceful, with people going about their daily routines, unaware of the danger nearby. Mina felt a surge of relief. For the first time since finding the jet, she felt that they might truly be safe. She whispered, "Almost there. Stay close and we will be fine." Nora nodded, and together they prepared to move into the village, careful, alert, and ready for whatever came next. Mina knew that their journey through the mountains had been just the beginning, and that the secrets of the jet and those who had hidden it were still waiting to be discovered. Mina and Nora finally reached the edge of the village. The small houses and winding paths looked peaceful, but Mina knew they could not let their guard down yet. She held Nora's hand tightly as they moved quietly between the buildings, looking for a safe place to hide and plan their next step. The streets were narrow, and people went about their daily tasks, unaware of the danger in the mountains. Mina noticed a small, quiet alley that led to the back of the village. She led Nora there, careful to avoid being seen. The alley was shaded by tall walls, and it provided a perfect hiding spot for a short time. Mina crouched and let Nora sit on a low stone, giving her a moment to rest. "Are you okay?" Mina asked softly. Nora nodded, her eyes wide but calmer than before. "I think so," she said. Mina could see that the girl's trust in her was growing. The fear that had once consumed Nora was now mixed with hope. Mina knew this trust was important. It would help the girl stay strong as they faced what was coming next. While Nora rested, Mina examined the area carefully. She spotted a small shop with a friendly sign and a back door that was slightly open. She whispered, "We can get help there. Stay close and be quiet." Nora nodded and followed her as they approached the shop. The owner, a kind-looking man, greeted them with a smile, and Mina quickly explained that they needed a safe place to rest. The man nodded and allowed them to stay in a small room behind the shop. Inside, Mina helped Nora settle on a bench and gave her some water. "You are safe here for now," Mina said. "We will figure out what to do next." Nora's small face showed relief, but Mina could see the worry still lingering in her eyes. She knew the danger was not gone yet. Whoever had hidden the jet might still be searching for them. Mina decided it was time to learn more about what had happened. She gently asked Nora to tell her everything she could remember. The girl hesitated, then began speaking in small, careful sentences. They wanted to hide me because I saw things," she said. "Plans and maps. Things that could hurt people if they were used." Mina listened carefully, not interrupting. Each word gave her more information about the situation. As Nora spoke, Mina realized how serious everything was. The jet, The maps and the strange devices were all connected to something important. Someone had gone to great lengths to hide the girl and protect their secret. Mina felt a surge of determination. She had already protected Nora through the mountains, and now she would help reveal the truth behind it all. After listening to Nora, Mina thought about their next steps. She decided they needed to return to the mountains to investigate the jet. It was risky, but it might hold answers. Mina also knew they had to be careful. They could not alert anyone who might still be searching for the girl. She made a plan in her mind, considering each movement and every possible danger. The village provided a moment of calm, but Mina knew it was temporary. She used the time to rest and gather supplies. She prepared water, snacks, and some small tools that might help if they had to return to the jet. Mina also taught Nora simple ways to stay quiet and alert. The girl listened carefully, learning quickly. Mina was impressed by her courage and intelligence. As the sun began to set, Mina looked out the window of the small room. The mountains glowed with golden light, and Mina knew that the night would bring new challenges. She held Nora's hand and whispered, "Tomorrow we will face what we must. We will be careful and we will uncover the truth." Nora nodded, feeling safe for the first time in weeks. Mina stayed awake a little longer, thinking about the jet, the documents, and the people who had hidden Nora. She realized that the journey had only just begun. The secrets of the jet and the reason Nora had been hidden were still unknown, but Mina felt ready. She had the courage, the knowledge, and the determination to protect the girl and find the answers. Finally, Mina allowed herself a small sigh of relief. They were safe in the village for now, and that was what mattered. Tomorrow the real challenge would begin, but tonight Mina knew that together she and Nora could face whatever came next. She held the girl close and whispered softly, "We will be okay. I promise." Nora smiled faintly, trusting her completely. The next morning, Mina and Nora woke early. The village was quiet, with soft sunlight filtering through the trees. Mina knew that today was important. They had rested, gathered supplies, and planned their next steps carefully. It was time to return to the jet, discover its secrets, and ensure that the girl would be safe. Mina checked her backpack and made sure they had water, snacks, and a few small tools. She held Nora's hand and whispered, "We will be careful. Step by step, we will do this together." Nora nodded, her small face determined. Mina could see that the girl had grown stronger over the past few days. The fear in her eyes had been replaced with courage and trust. They started moving toward the mountains, following the trail they had marked earlier. Mina led the way, carefully scanning the surroundings. Every rustle of leaves, every distant sound made her alert. The mountains were beautiful in the morning light, but Mina knew that beauty could hide danger. She guided Nora along the safest paths, helping her over rocks and uneven ground. As they approached the jet, Mina felt a mix of excitement and caution. The aircraft was exactly as they had left it, still hidden among the trees and rocks. Mina carefully examined the area first to make sure no one was nearby. The tracker they had found earlier had been disabled, so it seemed safe for now. Mina motioned for Nora to stay close as they approached the cabin. Inside the jet, Mina noticed the papers and documents she had seen before. The heavy case with the keypad sat at the back of the cabin. Mina examined it carefully. She remembered the codes and numbers that had been scattered around the cabin. After a few careful tries, she managed to open the case. Inside were more documents, maps, and small devices. Mina realized that these papers contained plans that had been hidden from the world, important information about secret operations that needed to be revealed. Nora watched closely, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Is this why they hid me?" she asked softly. Mina nodded. "Yes, you were hidden because you knew things that could help people. Now it is time to make sure those secrets are safe and that the right people know about them." Nora nodded, understanding the importance of the moment. Mina carefully packed the documents and devices into her backpack. She double-checked the jet for anything else that could be useful. It was clear that whoever had left the jet had done so in a hurry, leaving many secrets behind. Mina felt a sense of responsibility. She knew that these discoveries could change many lives, and it was important to bring them to the authorities safely. Together, Mina and Nora began their journey back to the village. Mina led carefully, using the paths they had marked earlier. The journey was slow but safe. Nora walked confidently beside her, holding her hand when needed. The mountains, which had seemed so dangerous at first, now felt like a place they had conquered together. When they reached the village, Mina went to the local authorities and explained everything. The officials were shocked to hear about the abandoned jet, the documents, and the girl who had been hidden. Mina handed over all the materials she had found, explaining the situation carefully. The officials promised to secure the area and investigate the secret operations revealed by the documents. Nora was safe, finally free from fear. She smiled, a bright, genuine smile that showed relief and hope. Mina watched her and felt proud. She had protected the girl, navigated the dangers of the mountains, and uncovered a mystery that had been hidden for months. Mina realized that courage, careful thinking, and trust had made all the difference. In the following days, the jet and the documents were examined carefully. Authorities were able to use the information to prevent harm and reveal important truths. Mina returned to her workshop tired but proud. The experience had changed her. She had discovered that courage was not just about fixing machines or facing challenges alone. It was about protecting others, making careful choices, and facing the unknown with determination. Nora stayed with kind villagers until arrangements were made for her safety. She and Mina promised to stay in touch. The girl's life, once full of fear, was now filled with hope and possibilities. Mina returned to her workshop, ready to continue her work on engines and machines, but with a new understanding of bravery, trust, and responsibility. Mina often looked toward the mountains, remembering the journey she had taken with Nora. She thought about the jet hidden among the trees, the documents, and the secret plans. It had been a challenge unlike any other, but it had taught her that even in the most unexpected situations, courage, kindness, and determination could lead to safety and truth. Mina smiled quietly. She had faced the mountains, uncovered secrets, and protected a young girl. Life in her small town returned to normal, but the experience remained with her forever. She had discovered more than a jet hidden in the mountains. She had discovered the strength of trust, the power of courage, and the importance of doing what was right.